Hello and welcome to the Sports Zone, where we debate everything sports. This evening we have two of our best debaters go head-to-head as seniors Audra Baser and Taylor Neal will battle it out. Their topic? Well, we head to the NFL to find out that answer. Guys, we are past the midway mark of the NFL season, and there have been many standout players throughout the league. Tom Brady has a perfect record since returning from suspension. Derek Carr has the lowly Raiders at 7-2. Matt Ryan continues to carry the Falcons, while rookie Ezekiel Elliott has the Cowboys looking like a team to be reckoned with in the NFC. Now, with all of that being said, guys, I ask you too, who should be the favorite to win the NFL MVP? Audra, let's start with you.
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to go with the man of the hour. It's got to be Tom Brady. He's 7-1 this season already. And missing those first 4 games, it seems like it didn't even have an effect on him. He's put up so many numbers where you have 1,300 passing yards, along with 12 TD passes and no interceptions. A man like this is just absolutely explosive. Coming back from those 4 games, granted, he knew that the Deflategate was going to set him back at the beginning, but he's pushed through that and absolutely bringing his team to a whole new level this season.
Kind of rebuttal to that point. Before Brady was playing, Garoppolo was in his spot, and he had 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. And if you multiply that by 2 for get 4 games where Brady's at, those numbers really aren't that far for the 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's why I have to say rookie Ezekiel Elliott. Right now, he's leading the league in yards per game with 110. He already has 1,000 yards per scrimmage. He's going to average over 2,000 yards at the end of the year. He's got 7 touchdowns, averaging 5 yards per carry. I mean, this guy is just on fire, and he's a rookie, no less.
Now, Audra, you talked about the suspension that Brady faced. It was 4 games. That's about 25% of the NFL season. When you've got quarterbacks like Derek Carr or Matt Ryan, per se, who are carrying their teams and they've played in all of the games, do you think that hurts Brady's candidacy at all?
I think it hurts him a little bit just because he wasn't always there throughout the whole entire season. But you know what? He has so many players down the field. He has Edelman, he has Gronk, he has Bennett. And with those guys in front of him, he knows that he has to make connections no matter what. Granted, all these other teams have done very, very well, and Garoppolo carried him through those first 4 games. But Tom Brady, he has that name. He knows that he has a legacy to live up to, and he's been such a contribute to the Patriots franchise that, you know what, he's going to absolutely explode no matter what throughout the rest of the season.
The Patriots have a good running back in LeGarrette Blount, which keeps the teams honest by stacking the box, without stacking the box, excuse me. So that's why I'm going to say Ezekiel Elliott again. I mean, this guy, everyone knows that running game is the most important part of the offense. It keeps the defenses honest and makes sure that you don't drop 8, 7 guys in coverage. You just run 3 or 4 guys. And if you look at the teams that Brady's faced so far, he's faced the Bills, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Steelers. None of those teams are over 500. They have a combined record of 11, 22, and 1. And besides Pittsburgh at 13, all 3 teams rank in the bottom 15 in points allowed per game. I mean, he's not really facing any good defenses to speak so far in those 4 games.
Well, Taylor, you talk about the running game and Ezekiel Elliott, but when you look at the Cowboys, it could be said that the Cowboys have the best offensive line in the league. And when you look at Dak Prescott, he's been a revelation in his rookie season. And when you've got other young runners like Jay Ajayi, who plays for, a Miami Dolphins team that is much less talented, how can you argue that, Ezekiel Elliott is the most valuable player on a specific team?
Well, I think that if you look at last year's Cowboys team, the offensive line pretty much is unchanged from last year. They didn't really have an X-factor running back like Ezekiel Elliott, and it's showing this year. And if you look at the Cowboys passing game, they really haven't had Dez Bryant 100% all year. He's missed 3 games. So teams are looking at Cowboys to run first, and they're still shredding defenses. They're averaging the most run yards per game, like I said. And I think that he is the X factor. Last year, they didn't really have a running game as strong as this one, and he's really exploded on the scene for them.
But you know what? I'm going to bring in this concept of age. Also, you have Tom Brady, who's 39 years old, and you have Ezekiel Elliott, who's much, much younger. So obviously, Tom Brady has that drive a little bit more than everybody else because he would be the oldest MVP to ever win it. Peyton Manning was 37. Now, this is 2 years later. And you know what? As you age, your bones aren't as good. You're not as quick and fast on your feet. But you know what? With his numbers that he's pulled up, 73% completion at 39 years old, time's taken away for him. He might be retiring within the next 2 to 3 years. Granted, if he would probably win another Super Bowl, it might be over. He has 4 rings already, wants to go 1 for the thumb. It depends upon how far he can ultimately push himself and how far he can carry.
I don't really think age would be a number, though. I mean, if you're 21, 22, maybe 30 or 39, no matter how old you are, you still want to win an MVP. It's still a great honor to carry that. But moving forward in your legacy, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, for sure, if you asked him right now, say, do you want an MVP? 100%, he would say yeah.
Now, guys, we're at the midpoint of the season. There's a lot of time left in the season quickly. Audra, what does Tom Brady need to do to solidify his MVP season?
He absolutely needs to hope that this offensive line stays absolutely healthy. They have been protecting him so well in passing, and also he needs Gronk, Edelman, and Bennett all to stay healthy. They're helping him get to that MVP, and they're getting those passing yards for him. Granted, that's helping their credibility as well, but with Tom Brady completing so many, he needs those boys to stay absolutely healthy.
How about Zeke Taylor?
To start off, I will say that if Brady continues this pace, I think there's no doubt he's going to win the MVP. But with that being said, Zeke's on pace to run for about 1,600 yards. I think he needs to up his average per game to get around 18, 19, 2,000 yards. If he rushes for around 2,000 yards, not including receiving yards, I think there's no way that voters are going to overlook that fact that this guy ran for 2,000 yards as a rookie. I mean, he's on pace for 14 touchdowns, too. That's just an incredible stat line if he finishes with 2,000 yards, 14 touchdowns.
Well, guys, it should be one heck of a race as the season winds down. But coming up after the break, we debate whether or not Walt Anderson is the worst official in NFL history. Stay with us.